Good morning once again, everybody. So, we are going to talk about the economy a little bit. This is going to be a shorter one, but it's just one red flag that you would never expect. So, if you go to the stores now, obviously a lot of people already know that the companies in particular that mass manufacture chips, for instance, they recently, within a couple months, had to come out and admit that all right, it's time to start lowering prices because demand was cratering. All right, obviously, people don't have anywhere near as much disposable income, and without any stability in the system, they are pulling back their spending, and this has been going across the board for a while. All right, the idea of a general strike on buying anything new, it, whether people were trying to be a part of it or not, everybody's been tightening their wallets, all right, or purses. Anyway, I noticed something that honestly spooked me. Okay, the new chip bags. Okay, same size, new lower price. Okay. Now, they're not exactly the same size, though. Here's the thing, they're taking the air out of the bags. Everybody knows that you buy a bag of chips and it's 80% air by volume. They're starting to shift to the maximization phase. Okay. So they're switching over to smaller bags. Okay. So they're going to save on the packaging cost. They're putting less air into the bags. Okay. So they can maximize the amount of product that they put in there whilst freeing up a lot more space. Okay. What's the point? You save the money immediately on the actual packaging. You do what any rational person would have done in the first place, which is you have a bag, fill it, then seal it. Okay. You don't need 80% of the bag to be air. But more importantly, taking all of the excess air out allows you to pack a lot more chip bags into an export order. So whether it's palletized, however the hell you're moving it, you can move a lot more chip bags, and overall it's more fuel efficient over time, and it allows you to deploy goods and resources in much greater volume, especially considering the fact that the oil prices are going to continue to press. Another interesting thing. So, honestly, I kind of see this as just absolutely fucking brain dead stupid. I'm going to be honest with you. But the Australians, good lord. So they have rolled back their most recent um, climate modifications when it comes to what diesel flashpoint, all right, they're allowed to use and import. All right. So essentially, the difference between from 2020 on is I guess the Australians mandated that the flashpoint had to be 1 degree higher. Okay. In order to be used, consumed, and, imported. Of course, the Australians are now in a terrible spot because they also rely on oil from the area in conflict currently. Okay. Now, what does this allow them to do? This 1 degree in flashpoint change, this ridiculously small rollback, allows them the ability to import the standard fuel products that would be produced and used and sold in the US, the rest of Asia, and Europe, which means the Australians are going to be going out into the market and they're going to be going out into the market and trying to scrape supply off of the other nations that they can. Now, Asia obviously would be the best choice, but something tells me that they're not going to make the obvious trade of coal to China in return for some of the backdoored Russian diesel. Okay? Something tells me that they're not going to go for that. Something tells me that they are going to try to import oil or general fuel supplies from the United States. Okay? They could go to Europe, but they could just get it from the United States. Now, if they start buying up oil on the market from the US, that's going to drive prices up even more here. All right? Things are going to get a lot more interesting. All right? When it comes to the overall economy, at least for the time being, we're looking at a deflationary spiral, which, unless they start prompting the switch over to a resource-based economy, in line with all of the automation, we're probably going to see a sharp dive in prices just because there's more goods chasing less money as more and more people are laid off and as AI takes over. And that'll persist for a little bit until we hit the panic phase, until something major breaks openly where it can't be covered up. When that happens, what's going to happen next is most likely the crack up boom, where they just throw money into the system and start just handing out cash essentially to every single person in order to quote unquote stimulate economic activity. Regardless, overall, Western economy is damn near dead at this point. It is damn near dead at this point. The people who are still out there spending, honestly, I have no idea. I have no idea how they can maintain it. I have no idea how they can maintain it. Because honestly, things are looking shakier and shakier and shakier, and even in the hinterlands. Cash is drying up, and it's like, okay, we're diving into hell. We're diving into economic hell as a country. And it's not going to stop at that. But regardless, that's all the bad news I have for you guys right now, at least in terms of the economy. So, if you like and appreciate the video, like, favorite, sub, share, do all the things, ring the bell, ding the bell, tickle the bell, do all the things to your heart's content to that bell. Leave a comment, hype it if it comes up. If you want to see written work, check out the description box and go to the Substack. And if you are interested in personal business or sovereign consulting, stop by www.spadesconsulting.com without the dash. And with that, I will see you all in the next one.